During World War II, stories of UFO sightings became a mainstream craze in the early 1940s. Initially, sightings were reported from various sections of the United States, but it quickly became a global craze, with reports of diverse UFO sightings coming from all over the world. Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video on the channel. Today we are going to talk about the top 10 amazing UFO sightings. Before we get started with the video, don't forget to smash the like button, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get started. Number 10. The Belgian Wave. From November 29, 1989 until April 1990, Belgians reported seeing triangular UFOs. On March 31, 1990, the wave peaked and attracted global notice. Glans residents saw a black triangular UFO at 23 o'clock on March 30. 10 minutes later, another triangular UFO followed the first. The Glans CRC Control Reporting Center requested a patrol from the Belgian force after receiving UFO reports from several sources. Around 2350, two Belgian F-16s flew the same course. The two F-16s radar locked the UFO at 9 spots. However, after the UFO was locked, the pilots supercharged it to above 1500 km/h. UFO acceleration and deceleration at 1,000 meters above sea level with killed human pilots. After failing to intersect UFOs for an hour, the two F-16s returned to base at 1 o'clock a.m. The triangular black UFOs had 3 white lights at each corner and 1 in the center. Witnesses said the light changed color from red to yellow and green and was brighter than stars. Number 9. Shag UFO Crash. An UFO was spotted dead in the water at the Canadian fishing town of Shag on October 4, 1967. The accident was audible for 3 kilometers. A rescue and recovery crew was dispatched by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and Navy. After hours of searching, the project was called off since no fishermen or members of the Canadian Coast Guard located the UFO. Search and rescue divers tried for days but failed. The RCN called off the mission after finding no deep-sea items. However, the Navy, Air Force, and Common Committees investigated the UFO crash secretly. Number 8. Tehran UFO Sightings. Tehran, Iran recorded the most credible extraterrestrial encounter in history on September 19, 1976. On September 19, General Yousefi received communications from Tehran's Imperial Iranian Air Force saying residents witnessed a brilliant UFO flying above Shemran at 1 o'clock. Yousefi ordered an F-4 Phantom II jet aircraft to intercept the bright light after seeing it in the sky. Parvez Jafari flew another jet 10 minutes later. Both pilots reported that the object was too bright to see from 70 miles away. After intercepting the jet, the UFO accelerated to 2,000 to 2,500 am/. The thing was hard to size. The object was reduced to jet speed again. Jafari said the big UFO emitted 4 smaller objects. Jafari panicked and tried a blind missile attack, but the armament and communication systems failed. Mechanical weaponry shocked Jafari. 2 objects rejoined the main object. 1 followed him, and 1 settled on the desert floor. The item was so bright that Jafari could see the rocks around it from a high elevation. Jafari panicked and landed at Mehrabad. The main item traveled quickly to Antarctica. A civilian plane flying the same route also lost communication for a few minutes. The tiny UFO joined the larger one later. The next day, Jafari and his crew found nothing in the desert. Number 7. Vargina UFO Incident. The most recent UFO sighting is the Vargina Incident. One of Brazil's most famous UFO sightings, 3 sisters saw a humanoid entity in Vargina on January 20, 1996. The girls reported a 5-foot humanoid with a huge head and crimson eyes. They suspected it was hurt since it was still. The thing smelled foul. That evening, citywide extraterrestrial sighting rumors spread. 2 days later, Brazilian military intelligence S2 seized a similar critter near a city road and carried it to the hospital. The Brazilian government and military denied capturing the alien in an interview. However, a legend spread internationally that the Brazilian government was hiding a secret and surreptitiously experimenting on the subject. The incident's details remain unknown. It remains the most renowned case of alien experimentation. Number 6. Washington, D.C. UFO Sightings. UFO sightings above Washington, D.C. in July 1952 alarmed President Harry S. Truman. If UFOs defied landing orders, Truman ordered them shot down. At midnight on July 19, 1952, a Washington National Airport air traffic controller saw 7 objects on his radar. He confirmed that no aircraft were in the signal area. Later that night, numerous witnesses saw bright orange balls. The next day, popular publications reported a UFO sighting, but the Air Force discredited it as an Aurora or meteor. Number 5. Rendersham UFO Incident. In late December 1980, the U.S. Air Force trained in Rendlesham Forest, Suffolk. Security Patrol noticed odd light patterns in Rendlesham Forest early on December 26, 1980. Several servicemen checked the lights on orders. They recorded the landing of a brilliant metallic object. Serviceman Jim Peniston touched the craft and wrote down its symbols. UFOs slowly vanished into the woods. The servicemen saw triangle indentation patterns on the ground that may represent its launching pad impressions. Charles I. Halt led a forest research team on December 28. The Halt tape documents the events. It was one of Britain's most intriguing UFO incidents, even if the craft's and light's origins were unknown. Number 4. Betty and Barney Hill's alien abduction. The first extraterrestrial abduction account by Betty and Barney Hill inspired many others. Betty and Barney Hill were multiracial and African Americans. The pair drove from Niagara Falls to Portsmouth at about 10:30 p.m. on September 19, 1961. Betty believed she saw a shooting star in the brilliant night sky. The celebrity, however, rose. Barney halted the car near a forest on U.S. Route 3 after she requested it. As the UFO approached them, Barney realized it wasn't a conventional airliner. They drove to Franconia Notch. The UFO approached the moving automobile 1 mile south of Indian Head. The pair stopped in panic and felt the car trembling. Betty sensed an electrical surge at the passenger door of Indian Head. The pair stopped in panic and felt the car trembling. Betty sensed an electrical surge at the passenger door. The pair saw 11 humanoids. Betty and Barney drove away again at high speed, but this time they heard a rhythmic noise and remembered traveling 35 miles south from the UFO sighting site. Number 3. Battle of Los Angeles. The Great Los Angeles Air Raid became so popular in international media that it was adapted for feature films and the subject of countless sci-fi novels in the following decades. In June 1941, the U.S. attacked Pearl Harbor, Japan. After 3 months, the Air Force blacked out Los Angeles on February 24, 1942, after a false alert of an enemy attack. Anti-aircraft artillery and aerial barrages from unknown targets filled the Los Angeles sky. The U.S. Army feared it was a Japanese retaliatory attack, but it was against unknown targets. The U.S. Army fired 1,400 shells in 4 hours. After the officials determined it was a false alarm, the city was full of alien assault rumors. The Army later blamed a lost weather balloon. It's one of the most famous UFO and alien incidents. Number 2. The Aurora, Texas UFO Incident. The Aurora, Texas UFO encounter is interesting since it happened 6 years before the Wright brothers invented the airplane. On April 17, 1897, residents of Aurora, Texas reported an airship collision that killed a non-human person. It was named Mars. The UFO hit J.S. Proctor's windmill. The alien was buried and the plane was dropped into a well. After drinking water from the well where the plane was dumped, land buyer Brawley Oates got arthritis in 1957. Number 1. The Roswell UFO Crash. Roswell became a UFO euphemism after this 1947 occurrence. It happened in June-July 1947. Foreman William Brazel found debris 50 kilometers from Roswell. After hearing about an extraterrestrial spaceship crash, he returned to the original site and hid his findings. He reported it to the sheriff and the U.S. Army. The Army announced the next day that it was weather balloon debris after recovering it. It was forgotten. 30 years after the occurrence, one official claimed that the Army was covering up a UFO crash near Roswell and collecting alien bodies. Many ecologists investigated this report once it went global. More reports emerged that the U.S. government and Army were covering up what they found in Roswell, making it a major conspiracy theory. That's a wrap on the video. I hope you liked it. If you did, let me know by giving it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.